Hey guys, Mr. Popsy here. If you need any help with your skin, my new office, MPZ Dermatology, is open. Give us a call at 951-270-4494. Also, there's 4 million of you that come to my channel regularly, but only 1 million of you have subscribed. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. The more people I get subscribed helps me get an editor and bring you more content. So make sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for popping by. All right guys, Mr. Popsit here. This is a special day, our first video in our new office. And it's with a patient you all know, one of my most famous patients, a Steatocystoma multiplex patient that had the largest that a lot of you said you've ever seen, and the largest I've ever seen too. This is a new office with views. I still got to clean the windows, but we're doing great. So we're going to bring it in and get started. We got her prepped and ready. Let's check it out. Okay guys, this is our most famous patient, Steatocystoma multiplex, which some of the largest ones that I've seen, and I think a lot of you have seen from your comments. So we can see here, she has a couple up here where she had her big ones is actually doing really well. And the sacs we removed, that healed. We were almost 2 years out now, just a little bit of off-white pigment. Some of her bigger ones through here. She does have a big one down here. I don't know if we got that last time or this is a new one, but some of these medium-sized ones could be some regrowth too, but at 2 years, not too bad at all. So we're gonna go through and get her numb and get some of these. And this is the other axilla here. Let me get my legs. We got some sunlight coming in, I know. So we can see here just a couple blackheads and then a couple steatocystomas. And she does have one that's kind of bigger and deeper here, which I think we dealt with before. It's like 2 right beside each other, but we're gonna get that as well. And then in the inguinal area on the upper thigh, we're going to do a couple there as well. So we're going to get her numbed up and ready to go. But the big thing is, you know, kind of getting these bigger ones and just keeping on top, like maintenance for her, stopping these little ones before they become the bigger ones. So we're going to get her numbed up and prepped and ready, and we'll be back in just a sec. She's got these notorious kind of deep ones sometimes, and sometimes they're clustered. Really getting a hold of them. She's numb there, and we do a little poke, and that's when you hit that pocket, and you'll see. That was a good one. That was quite big, actually. And we call them butter cysts. We say it time and time again, so it looks like melted butter. That is good. There's a sac there on that first one, because this one was kind of big and deeper. And we've talked about with her in the past, we do not make a big, huge cut because of her risks of hyperpigmentation and scarring she's had in the past. I'm just going to see, sometimes through a small cut we can get the sac, but hers tend to retract down. We haven't got a whole lot of sacs on her, but we always try to see. So a little curved forceps here. We'll see if we can get a hold of the sac. If not, we'll keep moving. A little bit of tissue right by the surface there. Yeah, it's just falling apart. I think that was a little fat tissue. No pain? Are you good? Okay. Yeah, that one's not going to come out, so we'll keep moving. Okay. So she's got different size ones here. The key is getting under them like that. You can see how I pooch them right up to the surface, one poke, and these come out very easily. That one was a little bit older than that last one. You can see the darker contents. Another pretty deep one here. They try to move around on you. I usually have to pinch, and then actually use a third finger to push it right into where I need, and then we get them. Just like that. Very, very good. So I kind of come at different angles, make sure we get these completely drained. This is another one. There's kind of like a little blackhead there. Usually get a cluster of hairs. see if we can get, there we go. So you can see there, these are the, you can see that. On the dark ones, sometimes we get just this little cluster. It's almost like a little blackhead, but it's really just some hairs kind of rolled up in there in a little pocket, sebaceous gland. And you see it's dried out, but there's little hairs and kind of like a blackhead. So those are good to get out. More little pinch here, sorry. There's one there. You okay? Okay. Good, good. So that was a good one in there. You see the hair right at the bottom. Great to get those out. Pinch. There we go. That was almost clear gel. Interesting. So one thing that I've learned from doing this for several years, but in particular with my channel and communicating back and forth with patients in the Midwest, is that I tell them, oh, there should be, dermatologists in your area that can do this no problem. And they're saying they do have dermatologists or somebody they're going to at a dermatology clinic. They're telling them that they can't treat them. There's no reason to treat them because they grow back, or they don't know what it is. Those are the three things I've heard from multiple patients. That's why patients have traveled quite a bit to come see me. I think it's worth taking the time to do this. I think it does help the patient in the long run aesthetically, especially with women, especially in some of the areas where they show when, if they have a bikini on or bathing suit in the summertime. Anything that can reduce those bumps is helpful. Let's see, this is another little blackhead here. See if we can get that one to come out. There it is. Same thing. Just a little circle. And that's kind of like wax with hair in it there. You see when you kind of crush it. Very similar to a blackhead. Blackheads do form with this condition, but blackheads don't tend to have a bunch of little hairs wrapped in them like these do. So they're a little different, but the same idea. That makes sense. Yeah, there we go. I did. Oh, good. I got that one. And that's one we were poking at. I think I loosened it a little. I saw it starting to come out. So we squeezed that one out. Same thing. So that is great. Got all those. I'll come from different angles. Make sure we got every angle and get the bottom of it. Can they refill? Yes. Luckily, I've been following her for 2 years. Hers don't refill quickly, if at all, so that's good. I have other patients where they do refill quickly, and we tend to try and go for the sacs a little more just because they come back quicker. And that's good to do. Yeah, I do feel there is one right under that one. Right there. They roll around kind of like a little sack of grapes in there. That's a pretty good stringer there. Very good. So when we pull, we can see 1.5 millimeter small cuts, going to heal great. Bumps are gone. Inguinal fold here, kind of the top of the thigh, very common area where even medium-sized ones can be bothersome because it's in the crease. Sometimes, clothing can rub there, so it's good to get those. Great. We'll go to the next area. You can hit stop. Okay, and here we are just in the axilla here. She's got several. And if you recall, if you look back at her first video, the first 7 we did were up here. 2 years out, light scar, but looks way better than it did in the first 6 months to a year. All those big ones that we got, nothing is really, I don't see any big ones that have come back. I don't know if we got that one originally, but there's some small ones coming that could be residual. But not bad for 2 years and how many we did in this axilla. She's doing great. This one is a big one. Can you see that there? Here, we can lower her a little. That's okay?
No.
Okay. You want to come from this side maybe? Okay, so this is a bigger one that's kind of deep. You always want to get behind these. There we go. And you can see there, these are just kind of remnants of hairs breaking down actually. and the body will break it down and they kind of get dark like that. So that's interesting. We got all that out. Very good. Perfect. And we were talking just earlier, the two main comments that people say on hers is the sac. You didn't get the sac out. There's another one that kind of has the darker pigment, which is common, I found, in the axilla because there's a lot more hairs and they kind of break down. They get inflamed, they get in the pocket, and then the body will start breaking it down. It kind of turns into almost like ink sometimes. That's good. The other thing people say is, does it smell? And the answer is not at all. These have no smell to them that I notice at all. In comparison to like an epidermal inclusion cyst, which has a very, very kind of distinct smell, these don't smell at all. I have discussions with my patients of what their goals are, and hers are to minimize scarring. So she, opted not to have the sacs taken out and cut bigger, dig deeper. So that's why we do that. For all the commenters out there. Is that coming in? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. This one might be a little blackhead right there. Yeah, that one's coming out. Another one of the little round ones, which is a little dried up. Looks like likely vellus hair cyst. Just another one right here. It's weird with the sunlight coming through, huh? It messes with the lighting. There's another one there. Get those little balls out. Very good. Little sac on that one. Got it. A little ball there, but I'm going to see if there's any right at the entrance there. It looks like there might be a little bit of remnant. Not bad, just a smidge. See that little bit of white right there. There it comes. That was kind of two. There was one dark one and then just a little round one. It did have a dried up sac right behind it. So when they're right surface, I'll get them. We got that one, just pulled it out. Just wasn't real big. Very good. That's pretty much all of those. This is just an imprint of that when she had her arm down. Does that sometimes. Good. Don't feel any other big ones there. There's one there. That one's really moving around a lot. I'm gonna give her just a little light out. You can see it right there when you can catch it in between your fingers. Gosh, they roll quite a bit. This one's moving 1.5 inches one way or the other. So I kind of pin it between 3 fingers here, get it right in the middle there, and boom, got it. Get that out. That one's trying to run away on us. Very good. Okay. So when you pull that skin, you see very smooth, not many bumps at all. She does have, these are some of the sacs, just kind of clustered with little scar tissue. Not much to get out there. There's a tiny bit right there, one poke. Not too bad. I'm just gonna do some little pokes on these small ones here. Very good. That feels very smooth, looks great. Okay, so we'll get her cleaned up there. Well, we got the other inguinal fold here, just a couple pinches. We already numbed her, so there wasn't much in that. That was a little one. Little pinch, sorry. That's good. That one was pretty much fluid, not much paste at all. Bit of a pasty one there. Now, if you put these under a microscope and you smash that flat, you'll see all kinds of little hairs in there. It's pretty interesting. There we go. Oh, it's a long one. Same thing with that. You'll see the hairs under any one of these. Good. Just a tiny bit in there. See that? It's one of those kind of little dried up ones. Good to get it out. There we go. I think I can see that blackhead right beside there. This one kind of moved a little. See if we can get anything out of here. Yeah, I see the dark spot. And using the finger pads, we can usually get behind these pretty well. Sometimes when you push down with instruments, you can see here, I can really roll that right out. So it was in there, and it's kind of just a little circle, dried up wax-like material, keratin, with hairs in there and kind of circled loop. So that's good. Very similar to a blackhead. However, they look different when you get them out. They have more hairs. Very good. Thought that one was trying to hide on us. Okay. We got all those there. Don't see any sacs protruding. So when you pull the skin, you can see nice and flat, very tiny 1.5 millimeter cut that'll heal up within days. It'll heal great. Saw a little bit more on that one. Okay. So the last area here is the other axilla. Really, you can see how that rolls all the way outside of my spot there. So I numbed her inside the purple spot. So I try to get them right in there and then poke them right in the middle and they come right out. That's great. And the other thing I was talking with her about, which is a really good point to bring up, is the psychological aspect of this condition. Some people have 5 to 10. Other people have, hundreds and hundreds like she's had. And, she's had this a long time. She's a grown person. She's been okay with it. But you imagine a young kid, 14, 15, especially young women. Psychologically, this can be absolutely devastating. They don't want to go to gym class. They don't want to go to the pool or the beach. And so if you can reduce the bumps, it actually, you got another one of those blackheads there. It can give them confidence, and I have seen that and experienced that with the comment section. That's the end. That was kind of what was encapsulating that. And the other thing is not knowing what it is. So many people I've had multiple say they have been dealing with this and didn't know the name of it to even go to somebody and ask for help. This is a tiny little pinch. This is just one right by the surface. And so that's the main reason I do this channel is to educate. So if we can educate and people can say, oh, I have those bumps in those areas. I bet you that's what I have. And they can go and get help. There we go. That's good. Little pinch here. Very good. So these are just when she puts her arm down, it kind of is like a carbon copy. That's why I always feel to make sure before I poke. That's good. That was the end of that sac there. This one is like a little, looks like a little blackhead almost, or follicular cyst, because it has a pore right there. That should roll right out. Perfect. You can see a hair right at the entrance there. That was like a little epidermal inclusion cyst, actually. Kind of dry, white, flaky keratin. There was a hair there. It had a punctum. You could see that open pore. So with this condition, it's common to see blackheads, steatocystomas, vellus hair cysts, and little epidermal inclusion or epidermal cysts. You'll see all that. And you can see that's the bottom of the sac there, that little cyst. I'm going to grab that and get it out. There's subtle differences, but you do this every day, you can see it right off the bat. That little sac there. I'm actually going to cut the base of that sac out so it doesn't come back. Sometimes these will have a little attachment underneath. You can take the blade and just do a little cut at the base. And that will detach and come out. There it is. Good. Okay, let's see. I think she had one here. Trying to hide. The armpits can be tricky because they'll try to push down deeper into the armpit. You can get all different colors. That's kind of like a dark yellow. Very good. This is a cluster here. A little scar tissue there too. You can feel from previous. Sorry, little pinch. You could probably feel that crunch, that scar tissue from just previous ones. Not a ton in there, just kind of some clusters of sacs, scar tissue, and little pockets of yellow, but not much. That got those to go down totally. Very good. There was 2 or 3 right there, and now I don't feel anything. It's totally flat. Good. So this one is going to be her toughest one because it is deep. Just got to get behind it here. Sorry if that tickles. There we go. Trying to pinch that. I know it's hard to see probably with the video. Little pinch. There we go. That was a big one, and it was deep in there. You can see little hairs in there rolled up too. That's good to get out. So these are the ones that she'll feel when she puts her arm all the way up. You know, sitting there, it sucks back up in there. You don't really see them. But when you're shaving, things like that, that's something that you can feel. She's got one more beside it. It's a little bit farther back in there. See if I can get behind that. You might need to come in a little angle here, kind of down here, because this one is difficult to get behind. I have to use multiple fingers here. Sorry. If I'm pushing too hard, let me know. And it's right there. There we go. I got it. And there. One little poke. That's all it takes. That one made us chase it. So that was a good, 1.5 centimeters. So it's great to get in there and get that out. The bigger they get, sometimes they pop. We have seen with her some small abscess formation where we've had to utilize antibiotics. And it's these types way deep in there in an area that we sweat that, can get inflamed sometimes. That's great. That's totally flat. She had 2 really big ones there. There's nothing left. So that's good. A little bit left on that one. And I do see one more here, one last shot, and pretty much that's all the bumps I see. And if you know, it's in, on my page, if you look under Steatocystoma playlists, she's on the playlist. And you can see her original, which was like 8 to 10 very big ones like this. So you see when we pull there, she's looking great. That is a huge transformation from her original presentation. And that's our goal. I didn't numb this one, so we're just going to get one more pinch there. Sorry. Some people ask about the numbing. That's the only part they feel. There it is. Good. That one's kind of fluid filled. Perfect. So that looks great. I do see one teeny tiny blackhead. Let's see if we can, right beside that one. I always say I'm done, and I always find one more. That's what people say in the comments. A little pinch, sorry, just right at the surface. That one was kind of hard, actually. Right there. We just get that little ball out, just like the ones we did before. So that's good. Those really won't get to the big ones, but they can grow a little bit, and they can be itchy sometimes, so it's good to get those out. And that's great. We might let her heal and do kind of maybe one more session and kind of check. Look at that, I found one more. And see kind of what is left over from what we've done today and in the past. And then she might be good for a little while. Very good. You can imagine the volume of fluid we get out from this, and you know, you think this is why this is worth doing. And you're walking around with all those pockets like that and that much fluid in there. It's nice to clear it and just feels, she probably feels lighter. Perfect. We'll get a little Band-Aid maybe on that one. Okay. So that was probably 40 to 50. Very interesting, as always. She's always very interesting. Her presentation is kind of the full spectrum of what's possible. She's a little more severe with Steatocystoma multiplex. And the more severe cases tend to have all those different presentations. You'll see, big ones, small ones, the little blackheads, the vellus hair cysts, and in some epidermal cysts as well. So I really appreciate her sharing, because she's probably the most viewed patient on my channel with all of hers. And I think we've done 9 or 10, so this is going to be 10 or 11. I'll look, and then we'll put it on there. But thanks again to her, and thanks for popping by.